I'm picking up on the messages for us as a whole. And I do read for a specific collective. It's those who are on an awakening journey on some type of spiritual path. Many of those have, had some kind of connection or experience in life that has really catapulted their growth. And that can be difficult sometimes. So I found a lot of comfort myself in the cards, and I hope you do as well. So let's just start with the opening message. The question, who is with us this week? What is their message? An ascended master or guardian, someone on your spirit team, who is with us? And I did pre-shuffle, but I like to shuffle a little bit on camera as well. Opening message. Krishna, devotion. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. So I'm getting a couple messages with this. Krishna is such a powerful force. And I know one of my yoga teachers, I just love here. She's very knowledgeable about ancient Eastern wisdom and teachings. And Krishna is a God that will really open our eyes to what we are focusing on in life. Devotion is powerful. We can be devoted to anything. We can be devoted to our beliefs, whether they're still serving us or not. We can be devoted to habits, maybe even unintentionally or unconsciously. So it's just a good week to really take a pause and see where our time is going. I know this really hits home for me right now, because I feel like I have some weeks I kind of let my priorities slip a little bit and easily find myself, on social media too much, or just devoting my time to things that aren't bad, but just aren't necessarily serving me and are kind of hindering me from really tapping in and hearing my own voice. So this is a week that we want to tap into Krishna's energy and this message, trust your spiritual guidance. Sometimes we get in this habit of seeking, and that's very common on this path, and that's great. We learn so much. Like I'm so grateful that we have the internet and we have ways to access all this information and knowledge at our fingertips. However, like that first message was saying, make sure that you can really tap into your own guidance too. I'm a firm believer that we have, we're all connected. And so with universal consciousness, our spirit guides, with God, source, we have that knowledge inside us for what's best. And so, take information in when needed, but don't forget to really trust what you're feeling deep down in your heart too. Not the ego, not, passing fleeting feelings, but that deep voice, that voice of reason that we know and trust. But this other message, the second one, your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. Remember that. We don't need a person or a situation or a job or anything in our external environment to make us feel worthy of being loved. We were born into this world being loved. We are loved. We are love. So that's just a really powerful message to start the week. I know it definitely resonates for me personally. All right, next message. Wow, this came up for another reading I did this morning. Bodies of water. Spend time near water, such as a lake, river, or the ocean, to recharge your batteries. And this can be specific, if you have a trip coming up, or maybe you have been feeling the urge to get out of town. I always feel rejuvenated around water. And that can be any body of water, lake, river, ocean. But it is very cleansing. There's a very cleansing emotional component to being in or around water. So that's just asking us to, and it's also just a card of I see that as nature, even if you don't have a body of water necessarily to go to, just being outside, getting your batteries recharged by nature, by the elements, is really powerful this week too. And with that, I get that there's some heavy emotions coming up. So if that's the case, just give yourself that time to recharge. What is that card specifically asking us, or why is it asking us to recharge? What could be coming up this week to be looked at or healed? Joy. Oh, okay. So this isn't something that needs to be healed necessarily. This is the shamanic healing deck. However, when I see this card, especially with, the flowers and, it's kind of like a card of transformation and growth, but joy, just reminding ourselves to find the joy in everyday life and in the small things. And it is so easy. I know I'm guilty of this. Especially this last couple of days, I've just had a really tough emotional few days, today included. And I remember when I first woke up this morning, I just felt this heaviness, and I asked God to help me see the joy in life today. Just help me see the joy in something, and then I can focus on that. And when we really open ourselves with intention to start our day or to end our day with looking for reasons to feel joy, which to me is just, it's not a fleeting feeling. It's just an unconditional, grateful feeling that to be alive, for what we have in life. Because it is so easy around us to look at everything we don't have or everything we want to change, everything that's going wrong. But how often is it that we spend a day or even an hour of the day searching for things to be grateful for? And, that the message coming out too is, if you feel like you're lacking joy in your life or your everyday routine, your relationships, it is something that, like anything else, we have to train ourselves to be this way, to see this. Some people, maybe it comes easier than others, but that's just like negative thinking. Years of doing that trains our brain to see the negative side. I've worked really hard and I'm still working on it. It is still a struggle some days, but I'm a lot closer to, or a lot better, I guess I should say, with my outlook than I used to be. And so when I do get in a lower place and I do start to see all the negative and worry starts to just completely burden my system, I'm able to snap out of that a lot easier because of this work. So I'm also getting a message that this week is a really good time for some personal work, and a journaling exercise that would be great would be listing all the things, kind of like a gratitude journal, but all the things that make you feel joyful. So you just start thinking in that capacity, and then also, all the things throughout the day. Maybe if you journal at the end of the day, all the things that happen that you could be thankful for and find joy in. All right, I really like those messages. All right, next message. Blossoming. You are just getting started, so have patience with yourself and the process, and do not give up. All right, so this actually came up with that joy card too. I think I said blossoming or transformation, but we're in a big state of change, and we have been for, the last couple years, 2020 obviously, and through this year, we have, as a whole, as a collective, experienced enormous change. And I sometimes beat myself up that I'm not farther along than I am. And the more I push myself in this way, the more I feel completely creatively blocked, the more worry and doubt that I have, the more sadness I have. So just that reminder, this is a big message this week, to really refocus our devotion, to get outside and recharge, maybe spend some alone time in nature, to find joy in that, because we are blossoming. We're just getting started. It doesn't matter what age we are at, what part of our career we're in. It is never too late to grow. We're always growing and evolving, but just don't lose hope. That's a strong message coming up today, is have patience with yourself and the process, the people around you. As we're awakening as a collective, everybody's still on a different timeline. Where I think the awakening process is sped up a lot. However, your timeline is different than mine, and mine is different than the next person. So we can't expect people to be in the exact same place that we are. So I think that's that message coming out, for having patience with the process, and of course with ourselves, because we are usually our own worst critic and the hardest on ourselves. So do not give up, because it will get better. It will get easier. Who is helping this process for us as we are blossoming? Who is helping us this week? Wow, faith, humanity, and benevolence. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others, see the light in the world. Wow, you guys, all of these cards are basically coming up as not the same, but very, very similar message. We have blossoming, joy, faith, humanity. It's easy to lose our faith in humanity, when we're hurt, when we're distraught. Maybe you've had a slew of negative things happen, or you just feel like you're at a roadblock. Maybe that roadblock's coming up for a reason. Maybe you need a break. Maybe you need to take that time to go inside and just chill out a little bit. This says stay calm. If you feel like you're topsy-turvy, just everything is crashing down. I'm getting that message specifically for some. Look for, just the same way we were, the message that came out with joy, looking for the positive in our relationships and in our surroundings, in our job. Even if you hate your job, what can you find that is joyful, or there is to be grateful in it? Just using that as an example. But trust yourself. This is very self-focused reading. That you are blossoming. This says have patience with yourself and don't give up. This says trust the good in yourself and others. The other message that's really important that's coming up with this is we often project things onto other people what we are deep down feeling about ourselves. So if we have lost faith or patience in ourselves, we are way more inclined to do the same thing to others. So that's really important to notice that. It's sometimes hard to swallow. And I've been really questioning some of that lately myself. Is this a reflection, some kind of issue that I have with another person? Is this a reflection of something inside of me right now? And that's not to say that you are to blame, or they are to blame, or that they didn't do anything wrong. Some connections, they are meant to happen to bring some sort of pain, to show us a lesson or to teach us something so we can heal that wound and move forward. But stay calm. Whatever you need to do to remain calm and to keep your peace of mind is really important this week. And I believe that's why that Bodies of Water card came up, is find ways, even if it's not water, find ways to recharge your batteries. That's going to be extremely important. Okay, what could be coming up towards the end of this week? Let's see, let me use a different deck. What could be coming up towards the end of this week for us to look forward to, along with really focusing on ourselves? If we take time for devotion to God, to whoever it is we pray to, and for ourselves, what could we expect later this week? The arts, express yourself through creative activities. And that's funny, a message like that came out on one of these earlier, is, when we are, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'd said when we are, I believe, focusing on the negative or something like that, our creative channel can get blocked. This is, the question was asking later this week, if we do take this time to recharge and to actively look for the good in others, in the world, in our own life, in ourselves. That's important too, just looking for the good in ourselves, because that's going to make us a happier person, which in turn gets a better, it has a much better outcome in our relationships. It gets a better response from others as well. But as we do this, we're going to open that creative channel up, and maybe where you're feeling blocked right now, that's not going to be the case towards the end of this week. We're going to have a chance to really get into our creative drive and express ourselves. And maybe that's pain, maybe that's joy, but releasing, trauma and pain. A great way to do that could be through music and art, and really anything that you find, any kind of creative endeavor. That's a way to release energy. And even dancing, like movement doesn't have to be traditional types of art like painting, but just finding the joy in that, releasing our pain, our sadness, or maybe our doubt, so we can clear that and move through it, so we really bring in harmony and balance. And last card, with that creativity for later this week, what can that heal? What can we be healing through our creative outlet? Oh my gosh, creativity. Wow. Okay, so this week is really, really asking us to get creative. And maybe that's even in creative thinking. If you're working through a problem, take this energy right now as you recharge to think about things in a different way, maybe changing the perspective. Like A Course in Miracles asks us to, ask for a miracle in the sense that we want a change in perspective. because that's where we see real growth and real transformation, is that change in perspective, not asking someone else to change, like that kind of miracle. It's always best to ask for our perspective to change and open up so we see the bigger picture. And, that is just, it opens the door for much more to come through. But creativity is a real big one this week. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to end it there because I feel like those were all, those messages went very well together. They tied in together well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, like it down below, subscribe, share it with a friend if you feel that you have someone that would enjoy this, because it definitely helps this new channel get a little higher up in the algorithm so the message can go out to others as well. So I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you next time.